Ciao and welcome to What's Cooking Ari and week 22 of The Sweetest Kind of Death. This week we discuss the illusion of marriage as security. Following up on last week and my trip back to Iran, we are discussing what happened and why. The war was gone. The Iran that I had returned to was rebuilt, larger, grander, covered in smog though. Streets were buzzing with life, yet beneath it all, I still felt a bit uneasy. I wondered if the government might see me as a pawn, a coin to hold against my father's defiance. And yet, alongside that fear was excitement, the taste and the smells of my childhood waiting for me, the sour snacks that I had craved since I was a boy. And obviously, my family, the hugs, the laughter, the longed for reunions that were waiting too. The reason of my trip was the wedding on Y2K. The reason that I returned was for my brother. December 31st, 1999, Y2K, when the world was whispering about collapse, computers crashing, airplanes falling from the sky, digital doomsday, and in the middle of this storm of fear, my brother, a computer science genius, was getting married. The satire wrote itself. The man who understood computers better than most was promising love on the very night that the machines were predicted to fail. Marriage is always a leap into uncertainty, but this one was stamped by history. The world held its breath, and so did we. This trip was short. I stayed about a month. It was more than a wedding for me. It was a pilgrimage. I visited cities of Esfahan and Shiraz, standing in awe of wonders that belonged not just to Iran, but to the world. I spent the day mesmerized by Persepolis, the stones whispering the weight of empires. We paid respect to ancestors, breathing in the truth that our story was part of something older, larger, and eternal. And then, with a heavy heart, I flew back to the States, still waiting for the moment when my brother would finally get his own chance to leave. So, where is the reflection or the mirror of this story in this chapter for me? Here's what the trip taught me. Marriage is not security. A wedding is not a guarantee. It is, however, a beginning. That night, Y2K passed without catastrophe. The computers held together. Planes continued to fly. Lights stayed on. But years later, that marriage did collapse, thousands of miles away in America. It's easy to think that a ceremony will seal permanence, that a ring or a vow locks in certainty. But love, like life, is always in motion. It must be nurtured daily. It cannot be guaranteed by paperwork, no matter how beautiful the night. The same is true for nations. Iran had rebuilt, but under the surface, the same fractures remained. Palaces and buildings that were rebuilt do not erase the bombs that once fell. So, how does my definition of love reframe marriage in this way? When I look at love through leadership, through stewardship, marriage isn't ownership. It's stewardship of one another's heart. When I look at love through opportunity, through creativity, each day is a chance to reimagine love, not assume it. When I look at love through a vision that unites, a wedding is a vision. A marriage is long work of unity that needs to be worked on daily. And when you look at love through empowerment, which leads to enrichment, when we create our vows, we empower, but only our actions enrich those vows. So when we look at the bank of time and trust, a wedding is simply a deposit slip. The real deposits are the daily acts that follow: forgiveness, sacrifice, laughter, patience. Without those, the account simply empties, no matter how beautiful the ceremony. So here is your practical reflection, your mirror. Where in life are you confusing beginnings for guarantees? Where are you mistaking a moment of celebration for a lifetime of commitment? Beginnings do matter, but only daily deposits keep the promises alive. So, what is our kill move for this week? Step one, we need to identify one relationship, a commitment, or project that we are treating as secure simply because it started strong. Step two, we need to ask ourselves, what daily deposits does this require now? And step three, within 48 hours, we do need to take one small act of stewardship, something that nourishes the commitment beyond the memory of its beginning. And step four, as always, we need to record this as a deposit. Beginnings sparkle, but the deposits sustain this act. And the closing candle for this week. The ceremony is a spark, and the fire is what feeds daily. Ciao, and we'll see you next week.